All right, so it's just about 2 o'clock, right? I think we can start. Yeah, we can start. It's 2 o'clock. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me today for presentation on Zenith MACD. My name is, let me get to my little, no, that's not me. That's me. My name is James Buchman. I've been trading for a couple of years. Uh, Partnered up with NINZA a few years ago. I have my own Discord group and all that good stuff. So all the information is here. If you want to email me for any reason, any questions, preferably trading related, you can email me algodaytrading@yahoo.com. So let's get to today's presentation. I do want to get to live charts and possibly even maybe be able to take one or two live trades using Zenith MACD. So let's not waste any time. So as far as the MACD, where should we start? The MACD. The MACD has been around, of course, moving average, convergence, divergence. That's been around probably for 50 years or more. I hope I'm not dating myself, but it's been around for a while. It's one of the original ones, right? So there was the MACD, of course, the moving averages, but the MACD, the RSI, and stochastics. I mean, those were kind of the OGs of indicators. There are some issues, of course, with every indicator, but with the MACD, the two major issues really. One is that it's lagging a lot. It's because we're talking about different moving averages. It lags. But even a bigger problem is that in very directional markets with very kind of shallow pullbacks, it can give a lot of false signals. I hate the word false signals. Let's just say signals that would not be profitable as trades. How about that? Because there's no such thing as a false signal. A signal is a signal. It's just that it might not be profitable. So those are the major issues with the MACD. So leave it up to NINZA to work on it and improve it so that it could immediately filter at least 50% of those so-called non-profitable signals. And the way they did it was to make it part of a trend. So what this indicator looks for is not only a MACD signal, but a MACD signal as a pullback in a trend. So this way, if the trend is bearish, only short signals will be painted. If the trend is bullish, only long signals will be painted. And now it already improves this MACD indicator. There will be a gift at the end, so please stay for the full presentation. Not exactly sure how this works if you're watching it as a recording on a YouTube channel, but you all can always get in touch with NINZA. This is a test that they ran. This is on a 100 tick chart. I myself don't use a 100 tick chart for that. I'm going to show you the charts I use. I did use one of the charts that they suggested, but for me, for these types of indicators, I love the 15-second chart. I know a lot of people find it a bit strange. Why 15 seconds? And that's because, especially with the NASDAQ, the 15 seconds really gets you into a move without too much lag, right? So that's why I like the 15-second chart. Anyway, but these were the results of their back test. And hold on one second. So so that's everything we spoke about already. It identifies a trend. It then looks for a pullback, and this pullback gotta be in a direction, in other words, the confirmation of the continuation of the move gotta be part of the larger trend. So it's looking for the MACD signal in that larger trend. Now, there are a lot of things that you could customize in this indicator. and I'm going to just show you some. But first, let's kind of talk about the different parts here. Again, with NINZA code, they make everything very visual, so it's very easy to see, for example, that we are in an uptrend, and so only long signals will be painted, and that's what we're going to be looking for in an uptrend. We're going to be looking for pullbacks to buy, always pullbacks to buy in an uptrend. Also, this indicator lets you know if it's a strong trend or a weakening trend, right? So when there is no kind of a background, no color, this lets you know that it's a weakening trend until there is either a reversal or a continuation. And in this case, there is a continuation. We will be seeing all that on live charts. Now, besides, and again, we're going to be seeing this on live charts, but besides the actual MACD signal, they have trend strength signals. It's like that circle. So in an uptrend, it lets you know that it's a strong uptrending price action. In the downtrend, a strong downtrend action. So those will be the things to look for. We spoke about this. So okay, so they use different bar types. I did use one of the charts. I used the King Renko to kind of try it out. Now again, I prefer the 15-second, but I do understand that people who obviously like the King Renko bar. With some indicators, I would only use a King Renko bar. And for the King Renko bar, they actually have, I'm going to see if I can find it now, just to show you, they actually have a setting. This is the one I used, I think, for the YM. I used the 12.4 King Renko. We're going to be seeing it in a minute. And I used their settings. Now, for the 15-second charts, I did not change anything. I just used as is default settings. I always prefer not to change parameters, because then the discussion is all about the settings. The thing with settings, and that goes for any indicator, the thing with settings is that it always reflects the current market condition. Meaning what? Meaning that the settings that might perform great today might not perform necessarily great in 2 weeks from now, because maybe market conditions change, and so you gotta change the settings for the indicator to still be effective. Again, this is true for pretty much anything. So to get into whole discussions on settings, to me it's a bit pointless, because it's something you need to update all the time. The best thing to do, and it might require some work, but welcome to trading, is that you actually have to work on it day in and day out. At the end of the day, you take the indicator and you see which settings worked best for that particular day. Now, here's what's interesting. Whatever settings worked great, let's say for today, chances are they're gonna work great tomorrow as well, with some minor changes, right? So you can still use the chart settings from today, tomorrow, and then as you see slowly things, market conditions change, you will tweak these settings a little bit. Probably not every day. There's no need to do this every day, but I imagine every couple of weeks you would need to tweak some settings. That's just, at least this is the reality that I discovered simply from working with so many different indicators, right? I kind of realize that the best thing to do is to see what worked so far, and then, for example, when I make a video for the following day, I can use the settings that say from today, tomorrow. But again, for today, I did not change any settings. I want to show you kind of raw, right? As is. And of course, I never cherry pick. I always pick today's price action. But I'm sorry for all this long explanation. I just, the idea of settings, because I get a lot of emails from people asking me what are the best settings. And there is no such thing as best settings. There are perhaps really good settings for today's price action, right? So sorry to, sorry to oh, that we got too far. Okay, so how about we start looking at some actual charts, and then we'll take it from there. So let me find maybe gold first. Let's take a look at gold. Let me find it on Zoom. 1 minute. Where am I? This should be it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the different parts of this indicator. So first of all, again, NINZA is very visual, which is awesome. So you know when the market opens up at 9:30, you know where you are. So we don't know what's going to happen to the right, of course, but we can look at real time. We can look left. So we know at 9:30 that we are in a downtrend, right? This is gold. We are in a downtrend. You can use these lines, for example, as trailing stops. Again, this is all up to you. You can have your own ATM, or you can use these lines as trailing stops or even initial stops when when you first enter a trade. Now, what does the indicator looking for? So first of all, a trend is identified, right? A trend is identified. There was a trend. And now it waits for a pullback, with a MACD setup. All right, so it's a MACD setup. However, it will only be a MACD setup in a direction of the trend. That's how they cut down a lot of potentially non-profitable signals. And there is a short. Now, if you've been watching my videos or other presentations, you know I always prefer the first signal. It's For me, it's already a fact that first signal tends to be the best signal. The only exception I would make sometimes if the following signal is pretty much in the same area. What I don't do is I don't keep on taking shorts in the case of a downtrend where the market keeps making new lows. Not because I'm saying the market cannot go lower, but eventually the market gets exhausted, right? And then it just smacks you and goes the other way. So that's why I prefer the first signal. It would be right over here. By the way, these signals don't repaint, meaning it's not like in real time this signal did not exist or it existed in a different place. Once the signal prints in real time, it stays there. It does not repaint. Okay. So yeah, so we have a short leading to a long. So here is an example where it was a weakening trend, right? So when you don't see any kind of a background color, it just means this uptrend, because we are in the uptrend, this uptrend is weakening, right? But there was a long signal here, and another one here. But again, here is a good example here is a third one, right? And this is exactly what I mean. Eventually, it's just the market had enough, and people jump in late, and then they get smacked. So that's why I prefer that first signal. And if I miss it, oh well, I miss it. So then there was a bearish trend, but you see how there was no MACD signal here. So even though the trend was down, there is no MACD signal, so there is no trade here. Okay. We keep going, and this is obviously a losing trade. There was a long signal bar. I mean, price immediately breaks that line, which could act, as I said, as a stop, a trailing stop, or just the initial stop, and then we get a downtrend. We have a short signal, which is pretty much break even. I mean, he was a long signal. He was a long trend, so this is pretty much a break even. Probably the same here. There is a long goes into a short trend. No MACD setup here. and then we have this huge move. So one MACD signal, another, no bearish. In other words, the trend here, even though there was a significant pullback, and I guess you'd be taking some heat on this one, there is no change of trend. So, but let's say you get taken out on this original one. This one definitely took you higher, and just a big, big move in gold after that. And what happened after that? So we have a bearish signal. I'm sorry, a bearish trend. Here is the first MACD signal short right over here. Hopefully you guys can see it. I think you can see it. Here is the short, and of course takes you down. Uh, pretty pretty big move down. Then of course we're getting toward the end here, bullish trend, but no MACD signal. Right, this is now the end of the day now, so a whole bunch of nothing, completely flat, completely flat. Oh no, I'm sorry. I must. Okay, never mind. I was looking at the wrong chart, guys. I'm sorry. Um, so yeah, trend, MACD, trend, MACD. This one was no good. MACD short. But this is gold after what, like 11 o'clock? Yeah, gold after 11 o'clock. You don't want to mess with. It just gets all choppy. So ideally with gold, that's not only with gold, with pretty much anything. My favorite time of trading is the first hour. The first hour, things move nicely. After the first hour, sometimes it's not the case. So let's take a look at the YM, which is on the King Renko. 1 second. 1 second. Let me. Okay, let's find it in Zoom. Where are you? Here you are. Okay, so these settings, like I said, I copied from that slide that had the 12.4 King Renko settings. So opening up at 9:30, bearish trend but no signal. This is the first signal. By the way, here is that strength signal I was talking about. This kind of a dot. This is a strength signal. It's not an official signal, just let you know that there's a pretty high probability that at least initially a price will be going up. Here is why, and again, this is just a personal thing. The reason for this kind of an indicator, I don't like King Renko necessarily. It's because it's very jumpy, and things price action could be very fast, and if it's a lot of back and forth, it just it can't keep up with the price action. That's why I prefer the 15-second chart. But if you are going to be using King Renko, that's something I can recommend. If you are going to be using King Renko, in my opinion, you need Captain Optimus. Captain Optimus is a tool that would take these signals in full automation for you. It just happens too fast with the King Renko bar in real time. And I think Captain Optimus could definitely help. You can do anything with Captain Optimus. Not only can it take the trades for you, you can determine the ATM you want, number of contracts you want to trade, the type of order, limit order, stop order, market order. And I really think for the King Renko bar, you need Captain Optimus. With the 15-second chart, you can get away probably without it, but this is just too fast, too fast. You're probably going to be missing these trades. Anyway, change of trend, bearish. Here is the MACD signal. First one, right? First one is the best one. You take this one. Here is a long, MACD long. Then we get into a period of chop, but I don't see actual signal. So no actual signal here until here, and then it's a loss. This is a winner. Nothing here. We turn bearish. Here is the MACD short. So obviously, especially with the King Renko, trending markets are your best friend, right? You just when things are trending, it looks beautiful. When things are trending, things get choppy, it's a bit more challenging. Um, but anyway, this is obviously a very big move down, and now a good move up, right? Change of trend. Here is the MACD signal, takes you up. You can use these as your trailing stop, their initial stop. You can use these lines. Here is a short. So yeah, as long as things are trending, the King Renko could be great. So you probably want to use these, as I said, the first hour to hour and a half of trading, and maybe even not the first 15 minutes. Maybe kind of give the first 15 minutes for things to come down a little bit, and then wait for trending situations which most likely will happen between like 9:45 and 11. That kind of a window of like 75 minutes. Anyway, uh, long, very big move. Short, nice. And then this is now, right? So as we get toward the later part of the day, that's when things get a bit iffy. So just kind of gotta watch for that. And let's take a look. I will get to questions, I promise. Let me just get to the NASDAQ chart to see if we can get some kind of a live trade going. Um, and then I can look at the questions while I'm waiting for something to happen. Hold on. Let me find the NASDAQ chart. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look. So this is again, this is the 15-second chart, right? I don't know if my video is up yet, but I made a video yesterday, a live trading video. Um, fif- okay, someone's mic is open. Hope shut that, please. Okay. Yeah, so in a live video, I also use the 15-second chart. This is also out of the box default settings. I did not change any settings on this 15-second chart. That's just today's action. Trend down. Here is your MACD signal. First one is the best, right? MACD signal. Then up. Choppy, but still handles it well. And that's what I mean by in choppy situations, the 15-second chart just is just better. It can just absorb the choppiness a little better. This is just my opinion, right? Not this is not NINZA's official statement. Let's say this is just my experience, for whatever that's worth. Um, then what? We have this one. This short did not work out. This long did not work out. We have a short here. We have a long here. Again, keep in mind, this is, I did not change anything. So yes, if you sit with it and you work on settings, it could improve the performance. Again, I just did not want to get into the whole discussion on settings because it would be very temporary. Here is the strength of trend I was talking about. You see the red dot over here. This tells you that it's a strong trend down. So even though this is not an official signal, it kind of foreshadows a move lower. And we get that. They're trying to find one on the bullish side. This is one on the bullish side, just a bit late, right? Again, you see the difference, and once you look at it enough, you'll get it. This, which is very early in the trend, as opposed to this, right, very late in the trend. So it does make a difference. Then down, we got up over here. This one did not work out. Here is the strength signal up. Let me see if you guys can see this. And you see like this one, right? This one is right in the beginning of the trend. This is the one you want to see, not when it's very late in the trend. You want to see this in the beginning of the trend, that it tells you that probably a very strong trend is coming up. That's when you want to see it, beginning of the trend. Okay. Then they go up, come down. Was there any signal here, though? I don't think there was. I don't see a signal here. This signal is a bit late. I mean, we have signals here. Yes, they worked out. It just came in a bit late. Here is the strength of trend signal. Again, to me, it would just be a bit late, but this is another signal here that tells you a strong downtrend is still here. We're still in a strong downtrend. Here is the MACD signal. Here we have a no MACD signal, just a trend. Here we have a MACD signal, takes it down, choppy, and nothing. So this is where we are right now in real time. And we just had this strong trend signal. So let's see if they can pull back a little bit. My problem now, as we are looking at this, my problem now is that we are right in this resistance area here. So I don't really want to take a long into this. But actually, if this was not the case, and this trend signal is here, this really kind of lets you know that probably we have a strong trend to the upside coming up. Okay, so we're going to wait. So while we wait, now I'm going to take a look at some questions. Let's see what we have. Captain Optimus. How do you program it, Captain Optimus, to only take the first trend change? Now, do you mean trend change or do you mean the first MACD signal? Because there was only one trend change per trend, right? There was only one trend change, but there could be a few MACD signals. First MACD, okay. I don't think there is a way. Because it's all the same signals. So I don't think there is a way. And if someone's here from NINZA, maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong. But because all the MACD signals are the same, I don't think there is a way to only take the first one. Now, of course, you would be watching it. So you would disable, let's say we have a long trend, we have a bullish trend, and the first MACD long signal appears. Well, then you just disable the long side, and then it will no longer take any long signals that are MACD signals. You definitely don't want to just leave automation running no, without watching it anyway. I'm just taking a look here. Yeah, they're bumping right against this resistance. I really don't want to take a trade here. Let me take a look at something. Sorry, guys, just take a look at some larger time frames on my other computer to kind of see what they might be targeting here beyond this point. Well, definitely 66. They could be going towards 66. 23,066. If they can break through this, that's that, and I think they will break through this, and then it's about 20 points higher. Here they go. Here they go. All right, let me read some more questions. Okay, let's go back. It should not have triggered the opposite signal. Okay, so I'm not. You're talking about, I guess, very specific. If you could tell me the time, Raj, if you could tell me the time, because I'm not sure now which signal you mean. It would only print MACD signals in a direction of the trend. So if the trend is bullish and there was a qualified MACD signal, it would only be a long MACD signal. It would not be a short MACD signal until the trend changes, right? So over here, we make it bigger, we have a change of trend. But again, there's just no qualified short MACD signal here. But once there is a change of trend, then we can expect a pullback and a MACD signal in a direction of that trend. I just wonder if they're going to give me any kind of pullback here. Because if they give a deep enough pullback, we will get a MACD signal. But I'm just kind of watching it. I imagine they have to come down quite a bit. So let's see if they do that. Because I think they're going to hit 23,066. So if we can catch a trade for that, that would be pretty cool. Okay, let me keep scrolling. Okay. All right, let me go back. Okay, there's not too much. Okay, okay. So yeah, I don't see any more questions. All right, good. So no questions. No questions makes it easy. All right, let's just see if we can wait to get any kind of signal here. Unfortunately, with the time of day, I mean, who knows? They might wait till 3:30 to start doing it. But I'm kind of hoping for a retracement, maybe like down to here, if they can do that for us. Um, yeah, I just kind of think 23,066 is very likely. Just a question of will they give us enough of a pullback here? While we wait, again, guys, any questions? I'm here. Uh, could could be about anything. Not necessarily this indicator. Just trying to pass the time. Mm, they're not going to pull back, are they? They're just going to go straight there. All right. They're already at 50, 51. All right. Okay, let's keep an eye on this, but also let's maybe quickly. Yeah, they're gonna just go to 66. They're not gonna give us a signal here. Okay, let's take a look at some things since all of you were nice enough to spend all this time with me here. Let's find again to turn this. Okay, so the gift, since all of you were so nice, the gift. This is the gift. And I always forget to ask Ninzako how you get this gift. I imagine just get in touch with their support. They'll let you know. I don't know how you get. This is the again high. Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. Also a trend like indicator with a way to have a pullback. So a pretty good indicator. So that's the gift. Bloodhound. I want to say yes, but I don't have Bloodhound, so I cannot say it for sure. Um, but I'm almost positive, because I tried it on markers and it worked on markers. So I imagine if it works on markers, it would work on Bloodhound. So yeah, yeah. So this would be the price for today, 546. In the meantime, let me look at some more questions. So what do you mean by strong MACD signal? Trading strong MACD signal? Do you mean like the first signal in a trend? Is this what you mean by strong? I'm not sure what the strong is. Um, I just prefer the first one. They tend to be the better. the better signals. Okay. So let me see. Hold on. Just kind of looking, see. We're getting a pullback, so let's I just so want to get at least one live trade in there. Obviously, I can't promise it's going to be a winning trade, obviously, but I want to at least get one signal here. By the way, the yellow one, if I'm understanding right, yellow means it's a weakening trend. So what you see here, this yellow, just kind of means it's a weakening trend. I disagree. I think they're going to 66, but that's what that means. It just means it's a weakening trend. They're, they're gonna go straight there. For a while, it looked like they might give us a pullback, but they're gonna just do it, aren't they? Yep, they're going right to 66. Well, here it is. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's keep looking at questions or comments or ridicule. I don't know. Oh, the MACD dot. So the dot is I'm not sure if the dot has to do with MACD or you mean like this dot over here, for example. Right. So it just has to do with the strength of the trend. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong because I'm not sure. I don't think this has to do with the MACD so much as the strength of the trend, whichever way they calculate that. So a blue dot like this in an uptrend will tell you probably a strong move up is expected. And I agree. I agree. We should have a strong move up towards 66. We're at 58 right now. Almost there already. Almost there. What was the high that they made on this move? 59 so far, but probably going to complete it. All right, let's see. What is the EMA? Hold on. The EMA indicators. So here's the EMA. Oh, they are pulling back. All right, let's see if they'll give us let's see if they'll give us a signal here. Let's try and be patient. But obviously things are very slow now. Okay. Oh, about the six, that's just my own work. Yeah, I just my own work. There was no, it's not any kind of a, it's not a state secret or anything, but it has to do what the chart did already. Take a look at your chart. Take a look at your NASDAQ chart. Take a look to the left. It's there. You can't miss it. Um, it, it, it it's just how you. Oh, I missed it. See, talking so much. Ah, so okay, you need Captain Optimus. See, if I had Captain Optimus here, it would have taken this signal. Ah, missed it. But this was the signal. This was the signal. They pulled back, and now I think they're just gonna do the 66. Yep. Sorry guys, I was looking at questions and talking and did not. Yeah, but with Captain Optimus, it would have taken the trade for you. So that's why you need it. That's why you need it. So there we go. 66 is coming. Sorry everyone. Ah. Okay, let me keep looking at questions now. Uh, Scroll to the open. Okay, let's scroll back to the open. I'm not sure if you missed the first part, but let's scroll back. So the open, 9:30. Here we go. 9:30. So this was really the first change of trend, and this was the first signal. Here is the MACD signal. This is what you would take if you wanted to trade this. Your stop could be, for example, above this line over here, and you would target whatever you want to target on the downside. Of course, first signal is the best, in my opinion. And then they just, kept on going down. Then we had a losing trade here, a winning trade here. This is a second signal, so I'm not going to do that. This is probably a losing signal. Well, it is a losing signal. Here is the dot, right? The dot in the beginning of the trend. That's what you want to see. You want to see the dot in the beginning of the trend here. It didn't give you that much, but still gave you something. Or the MACD signal gave you a little bit. Then the short, the long, the short. Here is the bearish signal. Here it is, the bearish signal. So the trend, a strong trend to the downside. This is it. So you don't want to, I mean, sometimes they appear when a trend is already kind of deep into it. Those I like less. I do like those that come fairly early in the trend. To me, they seem to be more effective. A couple of more right here. A big move down, then up. And I think this is where we are pretty much, right? Oops. Moving down. So the dark area, I think I said that, right? The dark area just means the trend is really weak. Either there was no trend or it's a very weak trend. There was no background color. Then the MACD long. This was a short. This one did not work out. No MACD here at all. That's strange. Like I thought there would be one here, but nope. No MACD here. MACD's over here. See, like here is one. To me, it's a bit late in the move, but again, it worked out fine. But this is just strong trend. It just the trend has already been going for a while. So that's the NASDAQ. See, they're just going to complete the move. I feel so upset I missed this one. I was waiting for it. They did exactly what I wanted them to do, and I missed this trade. So I apologize for that. But here is 66. Here is 66. So the full move is complete. Now they can do better, but that 66 might be a bit of a bit of a resistance. What is above 66? Well, I don't know if there was enough time, but if they can get through 66, there was actually a 110, 23,110. I'm not sure if there was really enough time for that. Um, because the 66 will be some resistance. They're going to have to pull back. They're going to have to pull back. But then If they confirm, 110 is there. 110 is waiting. So let's get back to this. Where is it in Zoom? Okay. So once again, this is the price for MACD, Zenith MACD, I should say. This is the gift. So this is the gift, and this is, oh, question. Hold on. Let me get to the question. Yeah, so that dot just means that the trend in a given direction is very strong. So a blue dot in an uptrend means that probably a strong move to the upside is coming. A red dot in a downtrend would mean that prices are probably going to go lower. And to me, again, those are most effective in time-based charts as opposed to um, like a King Renko bar stuff. Let's see. I just want to make sure. So you say there is a tiny that appears every time. I don't think it appears every time, but let me see. Your eyes could be better than mine. Wouldn't surprise me. Let's go back to the chart. Right, so this is part of the MACD. Okay, so this is a different kind of dot. This dot is part of the MACD. Right, this is correct. Once you see it, it just means that a MACD signal is probably coming. It's probably like the next bar. What I'm talking about is this. If you can see this, this, this dot. This kind of dot. This kind of dot tells you in a bullish trend, probably a strong move to the upside is coming. Okay, so that's what this means. So it's slightly different than the other dots, but this dot also looks different. So yeah. I think they're pulling back. That's that's the pullback from the 66 I was talking about. They're going to hit 66 and they're going to pull back, right? What was the high? Let's check out the high. The high is 66 and a quarter. Well, how about that? The high 66 and a quarter. Hmm, good stuff. Good stuff. Just got lucky, I guess. Okay. I'm just kidding. Uh, that's also why we don't take, well, not we, why I don't like second signals in a giving direction. First one is good, second one, you know. Uh, Now, regardless of this move, I mean, yes, the 66 would give a reaction, no question. This was expected. But if they could form up where? If they could form up on 47, if they could form up on 47, we could see another move towards 66. So that's the next kind of deal. And if they break through 66, well, then it's, 110, as I said, is there. Um, so, okay, let's see. Yeah, how do we get the free gift? I always forget to ask. Contact NINZA support. Just say you were at the webinar. There is a gift. I always forget to ask them how you get the gift. I imagine you have to be in touch with them. So contact support at NINZA. They're very good. They will respond, and then you can get the gift. Okay. So I think this is it. Let's go back one more time to this. Where are we? Here. All right. Okay, let me just, if there are no more questions, I think that this is it. So Zenith MACD, it's just an improved MACD indicator, tremendously improved. MACD of no, the original MACD is just too many issues with it. Decent indicator, just lagging and can give a lot of not profitable signals. NINZA really improved on it. They really improved on it. The quality of the signals is much better. They have a way of evaluating the strength of the trend and all that stuff. So good system, good indicator, and looks like there are no more questions. One more time. If you need to get in touch with me, these are my details. Come and visit me in my Discord group. I do this price stuff I just did with you now throughout the day in Discord, in the members area, and sometimes even in a public area. For example, in the month of July, July 1st, I was talking about S&P at 63.43. 63.43. Take a look at the high yesterday, 63.43. There are other prices in July. I'll share it with you here. There was 61, 63.61 for the S&P, and that would require ideally daily closes above 62. Well, 62.31, as deep as that, but preferably 62.78. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. I don't think July is done yet with a bullish move. That's just my opinion. In any case, okay, thank you all very much. Let me just check one more time for any questions before. Well, as I showed earlier in the webinar, I used it on gold, and I used the King Renko bar on a YM. Gold also on a 15-second chart. Again, 15-second chart on gold was decent. The YM on a King Renko was okay too, especially when things were moving directionally. Directional moves, King Renko bars, love directional moves. Obviously, when things are choppy back and forth, not quite as effective. So that's that. All right. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. Any questions, get in touch with me. I'll see you guys in the next webinar. Thank you.